Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP TV 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, Jack Ruland in Skycam 16, meteorologist Tom Clark with his backyard forecast, and Tim Carlson Sports. This is Newswatch 16 Update.
Good evening. There may finally be something new at the zoo.
Scranton City Council is expected to back plans for big changes at the Naog Zoo. For years, there's been talk of changing the zoo into a home for Native American animals. But as Night Beat reporter Joe Ducey tells us, the idea is finally getting closer to reality.
George Lowry has been working at Scranton's Naog Zoo for more than 20 years. For the last 8 of those years, there's been talk of major changes here, but it's now that those changes are closest to becoming reality. Plans are to ship out some of these animals, replace them with animals native to our area, like mountain lions and eagles, and change the way they're displayed. The plans will really change the whole concept of the park. Officials here want to get away from displays with animals behind bars and cages. Instead, they want the people to see something different, something new, something like this, where the animals are in their natural surroundings.
People just don't want animals in barred cages anymore. The government more and more every day doesn't want them in barred cages. So you're going to have to change your concept or you're going to have to disappear completely.
But changing the concept takes money. At this meeting, the council started the ball rolling again to fulfill a promise the city made 8 years ago. Zoo officials want $72,000 from the city that would be matched by the state.
I think that the city remains committed to the zoo, to improving it, and to make it, once again, something viable for this community.
Okay. Still, that money would only start improvements. $1.5 million is needed to fund the whole thing, and the zoo will likely have to look to the public.
The zoo is going to go from being a static facility that you can spend 15 minutes in and not learn anything to an education center that you will learn in spite of yourself.
The city votes on its share in this next week. Joe Ducey, Newswatch 16 in Scranton.
Coming up, they're getting married in the morning. We'll see if the royal couple is getting the jitters.
Plus, a little later, a story you can really sink your teeth into. We'll take a taste of the taffy from Troy as Newswatch 16 Update continues.
When I want answers, I go right back to basics. I almost bought a Nissan Sentra. Then I compared it to Ford Escort. Escort has more horsepower and passenger room than Sentra. And get this, Escort is priced over $400 less than Nissan Sentra. Plus, Escort comes with Ford's 3-year unlimited mileage powertrain warranty. Add it all up, and the answer is pretty basic. Bye-bye, Sentra. Hello, Escort.
6-9 financing or up $300 cash back on Escort at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
Now we got the juice in apple slice.
Golden delicious apple fizz. You never tasted anything like this. We got the juice and it's paradise. Taste the real apple in apple slice. We got the juice.
10% apple juice.
Crisp and light and it tastes so nice. We got the juice.
Diet 2.
Apple slice.
South African Bishop Desmond Tutu says the West can go to hell. The black leader is really upset over President Reagan's speech on South Africa today. Although the president did condemn South Africa's racist policies, Mr. Reagan did not call for economic sanctions against the government.
Most of the workers who would lose jobs because of sanctions would be black workers. We do not believe the way to help the people of South Africa is to cripple the economy upon which they and their families depend for survival.
But there is still a lot of support in Congress and among several European nations for tough economic sanctions against South Africa.
Royal weddings don't have the political influence they once did, but nevertheless, the attention of the world will be turned toward London tomorrow when Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson exchange wedding vows. And perhaps no one is more tired of waiting than the princess-to-be herself.
I'm looking forward to knowing at the end of saying the vows that I haven't fluffed them. But I'm very much looking forward to saying them. Because I want to get on and get married now.
And don't forget, you can see live coverage of the royal wedding here on Channel 16 and ABC beginning at 5:30 tomorrow morning.
And while Britishers will now sit back and wait expectantly for a royal announcement about a future birth, dads-to-be in one part of our area are being treated royally by a hospital. Newswatch 16's Dan Fiorucci reports Dial-A-Dad puts an end to an age-old problem.
Well, I started having contractions and my husband was scuba diving.
It's every expectant mother's fear. She's busy having their child, and he's out swimming.
I got ribbed quite a bit for quite a while.
But now, thanks to these simple devices, which news directors have used to torture reporters for years, dads will never have to be out of touch.
We're pretty excited. We're getting ready.
And Williamsport Hospital is issuing 30 beepers to expectant dads this month. Alan Cipriani is the first dad to be to get one.
They're hooking up the beeper system right now.
There's no charge for the service.
Even though the beepers will cost Williamsport Hospital at least $4,500, officials here aren't upping the price of a delivery. They hope the program will lure more expectant families to the hospital. In the meantime, the first beep to an expectant dad could go out this week. Dan Fiorucci, Newswatch 16, Williamsport.
Next, meteorologist Paul Hefner in for Tom Clark. He'll try to hang on to a good thing.
Yeah, and it's all up to you, Paul.
And a little help from my friends. Oh, interesting thing. Did you know how tree rings can indicate the severity of a drought? The size of a tree ring can show how bad a year it is for precipitation. Some interesting things about the drought in the southeast. We'll take a look at how tree rings will show us how bad the drought is down there. Plus, we'll look at the sunshine here in the northeast. That's coming up in the Weather Watch, but you're watching Newswatch 16 Update on WNEP TV, and we're proud to serve Mount Carbon and all of Schuylkill County.
Hi, I'm the Ice Cream Angel, and I just created Heaven Ice Cream Bars. What fun! First, I took rich premium ice cream, shaped it into a bar, then smothered it with smooth caramel, crunchy roasted peanuts, and covered it all in an extra thick chocolatey coating. And it tastes so good, I just had to call it Heaven.
That was my idea. New Heaven Ice Cream Bars. They taste so good, we just had to call them Heaven.
Look for the SureSave stamp of approval, and you'll find great weekly specials like these.
Start your cookout right with fresh local sweet corn, just 12 cents an ear. Breyer's ice cream, half gallon, $1.99. And boneless New York strip steaks, $2.99 a pound.
When you want the very best, look for SureSave.
Look for the SureSave stamp of approval at a locally owned supermarket near you.
The trees can tell us a lot, I suppose. Right, Paul Hefner?
Yeah, that's right, Karen. Amazing thing is that the drought in the southeast may be as bad as it was before the colonial days, before the folks from the Mayflower were coming over. We'll check that out in just a second. Let's check out the Weather Watch right now, looking at clear skies over northeastern Pennsylvania. And here we go. Mr. Edward Sermon from Allentown reports a 74-degree reading this evening, and his skies are partly cloudy down that way. But Weather Watch temperatures will get a little bit cooler as we head a little bit further to the north. Next, Mr. Wayne Sleer from Lewisburg in Union County has 69 degrees, clear skies. And up in Osterhout, Raymond Elick has 65. Our backyard temperature right now is still kind of on the mild side. We'll be dropping down to around 60 later on tonight. We now stand at 70 degrees. Relative humidity is 84%. The wind direction is from the east at 7, the barometer rising. Our high temperature today was 83 degrees. Normal is 83. Low temperature last night, a cool 56. Good night for sleeping. Records are 98 and 50. Well, one way of telling how wet it was during a particular year is to look at tree rings. And each year's growth is marked by a tree ring. A thick ring means that it was a wet year. A very thin ring means that it was a dry year. Well, some geologists are suggesting that this year's growth will be very poor, perhaps as poor as the year 1711. That was before the good old revolution. So this may be the worst drought in 250 years across the southeastern states of Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. But finally tonight they're starting to get a little bit of relief in the form of showers and thunderstorms. Here they are, some places picking up 2 to 3 inches of rain. That front will stay down to the southeast tomorrow to cool things off a little bit. It'll be in the 90s instead of 100s, and a few more showers and thunderstorms to boot. For us, high pressure is in here. It'll be in here for the next several days. Temperatures will start warming up. We were in the low 80s today, but check out some of the temperatures out west. I think we'll be more like this for tomorrow and into Thursday, 84 to 88 degrees. This weak front up here is going to stay put. so I don't expect to see much in the way of cool air coming down. High pressure will stay in control right on through the end of the week as we get that southwest wind to come in here. Temperatures up near 90 by Thursday. Chance of a shower on Friday as some moisture works in from the west. And on Saturday, perhaps this cold front here will swing through, and that will give us some more showers and thunderstorms, maybe cooling us off a little bit by the latter half of the week. By and large, we do have a warm week coming up. Here's the forecast for tomorrow. A sunny spell, not a wet spell like last weekend. Temperature-wise, about 88 in Shamokin, 87 Du Bois Town, Hawley about 83 degrees, Hunlock Creek 87, so you can see temperatures are on the way up. The wind will be from the southeast. Sunrise and sunset times go like this for Wednesday morning, and we're looking at it at 5:50 tomorrow morning, and then setting at 8:29. Clear skies for most of us tonight, but just like last night, a little bit of valley fog forming. 60 degrees, sunshine tomorrow and Thursday. 86 tomorrow, up to 89 degrees on Thursday, so indeed, it'll be getting hot by Friday when it's 92, but the chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm, better chance of showers and thunderstorms on Saturday. Partly sunny skies, temperatures will stay 85 to 90 degrees. So Karen and Nolan, some weather down in the southeast.
Ooh, yeah.
Sure is, Paul.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Paul.
Coming up, having a fair time at an old-fashioned taffy pull.
That's after Tim Carlson and the Yankees with a chance to gain ground on the sluggish first-place Boston Red Sox. The Sports Watch is next.
Enterprise Aluminum Products. We understand the needs of contractors, do-it-yourselfers, and homeowners everywhere. We're your primary resource for major home improvement needs. For instance, consider seamless guttering, soffit and fascia material, windows, doors and casings, shutters, and of course siding. Enterprise Aluminum in Wilkes-Barre, enhancing the quality of your life, increasing the value of your home. Call 825-2725.
Just like the flagship Sheratons across the country, the Sheraton Crossgates in downtown Wilkes-Barre is famous for first-class service.
Come to Sheraton, you'll love the life.
And you'll love the food at Wanda's on the Park, known for delicious dinners, oven-baked breads, and spectacular salad shows. And both are served free with every meal. Wanda's on the Park, priced just right, makes every day a special occasion. What a restaurant!
You'll love the life at Sheraton.
In downtown Wilkes-Barre.
He won't admit this, so I've got to say it now, because he's about to tell you about the Instabats tonight and how they came this close to losing after he said they win, but he's the reason they won. Tim, it's all yours.
For once in my lifetime. Well, that's early in the game down at the Edwardsville-Larksville Little League when John Evans had a little problem with the ball there. They went up by a score of 5-1, and then in the 8th inning, I hit a solo home run to make it 5-4. And then with 2 outs in the 9th inning, I hit a grand slam.
All
Can you
right.
believe that, to win the game? So we just had a really fun time down there, and those folks were great, and we raised some money, and we appreciate them having us. All right. Troubling news out of Kansas City this afternoon concerning the health of Royals manager Dick Hauser. After 3.5 hours of surgery to remove a portion of a golf ball-sized tumor on Hauser's brain, doctors say the tumor is malignant.
The permanent pathology will be available probably in the next 2 to 3 days, and our therapy as where we go from here will be dependent upon that pathology.
After the operation, Hauser was alert and able to recognize his wife in the recovery room. That's some good news from a situation we hope will get better real soon. All right, the most pleasant pitching surprise this season for the Yanks has been Dennis Rasmussen, the 27-year-old looking for his 12th win tonight at the stadium against Texas, and it didn't take long for the Yanks to give the youngster a lead. Don Mattingly at the plate, first inning, see you later. Home run number 17 to make it 2-0 Yankees. Later in the first inning, Dave Winfield, look at this shot. The deepest part of Yankee Stadium, that's gone, and it's 5-0 Yankees, his 14th. Then Winfield in the second inning, a frozen rope. Mike Eastler will come around to score. The Yanks went on to win it for Rasmussen, 9-1 the final. At Cleveland, just one play to show you, but watch. The drive to center. Brett Butler, does he have it? Yes, he does. A fantastic catch. Let's take a look at it again in slow motion. Butler makes the catch of the fly ball off the bat of John Candelosi. The Indians playing great ball. American League scoreboard now. Yankees over Texas 9-1. The Yanks are 4 back at Boston. They lost to Oakland today 4-2. Detroit over Minnesota tonight 3-0. Cleveland's now 6 back as they beat Chicago 8-4. Baltimore over Kansas City 5-4. In the first, Toronto, Seattle no score. Milwaukee, California scoreless in the first. The Mets out in Cincinnati again tonight with pitcher Bobby Ojeda going for his 12th win. Interesting to see how Ojeda did with thoughts of last Saturday's altercation with the police in Houston on his mind. But Dave Parker was on Ojida's mind in the first inning. There's Dave at the plate. So long to right field, and so long it was a homer. A two-run shot to make it 2-0, his 19th of the year. Mets come back. Lenny Dykstra, base hit to center field. It'll score Bobby Ojeda. As a matter of fact, to go all the way to Wall for the triple. Ojeda scores to make it 2-1. Reds in the lead. Where'd I get the Giants here? Well, they're playing good like the Giants, but the Reds came back for more. This time, a homer off the bat of Buddy Bell, his 6th of the year, a solo. Right now, in the 10th, it's 3-3, Reds and Mets. At Atlanta, the Phils out to an early lead. Mike Schmidt with a base hit in the first, scores Juan Samuel to make it 1-0. Von Hayes followed with a 2-run homer to make it 3-0. And Ken Griffey had 3 homers tonight, his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but the Phils win it in 11 innings, 5-4 over the Braves. Here's the scoreboard. Mets and Cincy, 3-3 in the 10th. Phillies beat Atlanta 5-4. Chicago over San Diego 6-4. The Dodgers over Pittsburgh 4-3. San Fran trailing St. Louis now in the 7th 10-4. And in the 7th, Montreal and Houston are scoreless. Racing at the Downs tonight. The second feature, and we have the numbers for you. And I'm still here somewhere. The Daily Double, 1 and 3, 760. Big Triple, 325, 233, add change. And the fishing game forecast for tomorrow. And, yeah, we had a fun time tonight down at the Edwardsville, Larksville Little League, and we appreciate the folks having us, and we were glad we helped raise some money for them.
Good job. Grand Slam. That's neat.
Okay, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Still ahead, the family who has stuck with a tasty tradition in Troy for 110 years.
But first, tonight's winning lottery numbers. Nolan is back, and so are the 9s. Take it away.
Okay. Tonight's winning daily number is 945. And the big 4 number is 9169. We'll be right back.
These are my fresh, delicious Purdue chicken parts. But these toothsome beauties are even bigger and meatier, with a delicious flavor all their own. Because they're my Purdue oven stuffer roaster parts. And they come from a whole different breed of bird. Now, my chicken parts may be the world's best chicken parts. But why settle for that?
Finally tonight, it's happened every year since 1875, except for the 4 years during World War II.
And that means the fair in Troy is built on tradition. The fair in the Bradford County community will run through Saturday. Tomorrow night's main attraction, country music singer Reba McEntire. But you can also find everything from harness racing to tractor pulls and animal shows, a real down-home country fair. And if all that's not enough, Newswatch 16's Mark Anik found something at the Troy Fair that you can really sink your teeth into.
They say that every once in a while, history repeats itself. At Warner's Taffy booth, that happens once a year during the Troy Fair. It starts when Gerald Warner mixes together water and corn syrup and sugar, just like his father before him, just like his grandfather before that. Now, how do you know how much corn syrup and how much sugar and how much water?
Well, you know by looking at it. When you think you've got enough, you stop.
The Warners have been following that very simple recipe since they started making taffy at the fair back in 1876. 110 years later, they still make it the same way. They boil the ingredients, then let it cool, then they pull it on this 110-year-old hook. And everyone helps out, even Warner's daughter and granddaughter.
It's a family reunion. My sister comes home from Lebanon tomorrow. My brother comes from New Jersey. Everybody comes home for the fair.
And while the process of making this taffy and the history behind this particular booth are pretty interesting, the thing that always interested me about taffy is eating it. And you know, I found an awful lot of people here at the fair that like to eat this stuff too.
Okay, give me 8 pieces of vanilla and 4 pieces of chocolate.
One customer even wanted to know where he could buy Warner's taffy during the rest of the year. He can't. They only make it once during the fair. And the next generation say they'll keep making it because it's fun and because no one wants to be the generation that ends a tradition as old as the fair itself. Mark Anik, Newswatch 16, Brantford County.
All right.
Oh, I got the big piece.
Mark was nice enough to, you sure did get it all. That's all right. You deserved it all. There's no doubt about that.
I'll give you some more.
All right. Thanks to Mark Anik. We have enough here for the gentlemen on both sides of us, so we'll be handing some of that out for the team. Thanks for being with us. Enjoy.
Good night.